Hey, this is recorded after everything else because I almost forgot to talk about it. It is the Happy Meal box. Yes, the new Sonic the Hedgehog promotion came with a custom Happy Meal box with that cool picture of Tails, Sonic doing his running thing on the other one, Knuckles with his swirling fists of fury, although it looks like Sonic ran around him a bunch of times. That's kind of funny. I like that. Yeah, very, very nice box art in the front. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, only in theaters. Very good. And they even made sure that the inner workings of the box had some stuff. So, like, if you got the milk, you would have Sonic the Hedgehog on your bottle. And I don't know if this tracks everywhere, but I've always associated 1% milk with blue. Like when I was in elementary school, those little cardboard milk boxes were blue for the 1%, red for the whole milk. And so, putting Sonic on the blue, that makes sense. Too bad that I can't really drink 1% milk, although this was small enough that I was able to drink it without having too much stomach pain. I'm not lactose intolerant, but if I drink 1% milk, I get bad stomach cramps and terrible gas. I can drink 2% or whole milk just fine, but 1% or skim, that really messes me up. And of course they put Tails on the chocolate milk, because Tails is a kid and children love chocolate milk. Let's see. With Sonic, it's basically a reflection of the picture that's on the box. But Tails, it's slightly darker, but it's not even reflected. It's just the same image. That's all fine and good. And then, of course, is the third thing. The apple slices got the Knuckles picture on them. And I like how they actually, like the blue part is actually painted to look like Knuckles just punched a hole in the wall. So so Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails are all represented on the food items of the Happy Meals themselves. Too bad that they couldn't make the little fry box with Jim Carrey's Robotnik on it, because that would have been the whole set. But, it's fine. We got the three main heroes represented both on the box itself and on the stuff inside the box. And that's pretty cool. I might actually drink out of these every now and then, just because I want to say that I drank out of a container that has a picture of Sonic on it. Hello out there, this is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with a review of the Sonic the Hedgehog McDonald's Happy Meal toys. Yes, it has... Now... I was not a very pretentious teen, and I never once lied and said I didn't like things that I liked. So I was one of those kids that collected McDonald's Happy Meal toys well into my teens. And even in my adulthood, if something caught my eye, I would go out and get at least a couple of them. But I have to say, it has been a long time since I was compelled to collect the entire McDonald's Happy Meal set before, and I gotta say, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie toys was one of the ones that did it for me. Now, surprisingly, I find that some people are quick to point out that the full set is not 8, but 10. And to that I say... This is the United States. It's 8 here, at least as far as I'm aware. When you go into the McDonald's, they have a display that has all the toys in there, although 2 of them are represented by cardboard cutouts for some reason, and it's 8. I have looked it up on Google, and there are 10 in places like Canada or the Philippines, with the extra 2 being another Tails and Knuckles. I'm assuming that since in this release you have 3 Sonics, if you count Super Sonic, in those other territories they decided to include a third Tails and a third Knuckles, so you have 3 of every character. At least that's what I think their justification is. But here in the United States, there's only 8, and this is what the complete set looks like. So the line-wide gimmick is that these are all pullback cars. Like, you pull them back, they go forward a bit. That is all they do. So you basically just have that with little figures of Sonic characters mounted on top of them. So let's take a close look at each one individually, and we will, judge them for their individual merits as toys. So, not knowing a better way to do this, I'm just going to present them in the order that I acquired them. That seems like the most logical way, because I threw away their wrappers and I don't remember the proper numbers of the toys. So we're going to start with the first one I got, which is Running Sonic. As you can see, it's a simple 3-wheel thing. You pull it back, and it rolls forward. It's not super fast, but it's just a little McDonald's toy. It's functional for what it is. Mine, unfortunately, has a little bit of a paint error there on the chest that irritates me. And the sculpt on the arms is a bit thick, but I do like that they went through the effort to make sure that he had the texture, like the fur texture, since this is Movie Sonic. I also find it quite clever that they got past the minimal paint budget by actually providing sticker details for the shoes. Yes, like the figure's feet are just pure white, but he comes with 2 stickers which you wrap around and they become the shoe pattern. So that was a nice way to get around the paint budget. And of course the figure simply mounts in. So technically speaking, the pullback racer is a completely separate piece from the Sonic himself. This pose kind of reminds me of the official Sonic the Hedgehog amiibo. Yeah, actually, you know what? Hold on just a moment. I'm going to go get that amiibo. And yeah, it is. It's the same pose from his amiibo. I mean, like, it's unfair to compare a McDonald's toy that you get for free with the purchase of a tiny kid-sized meal to, the whole Nintendo stepping into the massively popular Toys for Life genre from a few years ago. But yeah, this is totally the figure. And in fact, it's kind of a reflection. Like, Movie Sonic has his left leg going forward, while Amiibo Sonic has his right leg going forward, and Movie Sonic has his mouth it's sculpted in the middle, but you can see that the smile comes up higher on his left cheek, while Amiibo Sonic's smile is on his right cheek. So you can actually kind of have like a symmetry thing going on when you put them next to each other. That's really cool. I thought this pose looked familiar to me, and yeah, there you go. It's the pose from the official Amiibo. That's kind of cool. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's hardly a substitute for the Amiibo, but that's cool in and of itself. The second toy was Snowboarding Tails. This one's kind of the weird one to me because Tails didn't ride a snowboard in the movie. He was mostly unconscious during the exciting snowboard chase scene. There we go. But even so, he has a pretty good pose on here. Although, when you think about the direction that the snowboard is actually moving, he's totally not looking where he's going. But this is a nice little representation of him. You got his bangs, you have his cute little blue eyes, and again, sticker details to compensate for the fact that there's not a lot of paint detailing on his feet. It is kind of weird how his tails will go out to the sides like this, but that just goes to show that he actually has 2 tails. It's well represented, and the sculpting looks good even from behind. So yeah, for just a cheap little pack-in toy, again, this is a pretty decent little statue. The third figure I got was Running Knuckles. He's mostly in a similar pose to Sonic. The legs are at least in more or less the same way. He even has the same foot going forward. But he has more of a fist pumping thing rather than like how the Flash runs, rather than Sonic who kind of Naruto runs around. Although, as I have always been quick to point out, Sonic did this run first before Naruto did. So Sonic isn't doing the Naruto run, Naruto's doing the Sonic run. Yeah. But I digress. Yeah, his Guardian swoosh is painted on there. His sharp knuckles are part of the glove sculpt, and since he doesn't have visible ears, he actually comes across looking better painted because you don't see, like, especially on Tails, you don't see like the insides of the ears not being painted, being like a distinct lack of feature. On him, since he doesn't have that feature in the first place, it actually looks quite a bit better. And of course, his pullback racer is shaped like red lightning bolts because like Knuckles had red lightning and Sonic had blue lightning. So yeah, all of this works out pretty darn good. Again, solid little minifigure standing on top of a perfectly functional, if rather low-end, pullback toy. Up next is the Death Egg robot. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get a Robotnik figure properly in this line, although Jim Carrey would look pretty silly trying to run. But they could have put him in his egg pod. That would have been fun. It could have actually been like the original Sonic 3 toys that were released way back in 1993. Or was it 1994? Yeah, 1994 when the Sonic 3 game came out. My point is that we could have had, instead of having two each of Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails, like, it would have been cool if we could have had, like, say, Dr. Robotnik in his egg pod as one of them. Maybe I would like an Agent Stone to be represented somehow. But, I don't know. Maybe have him with a coffee in his hand running? I don't know. Anyway, unlike the other figures, this figure is not removable from its base, and I love the fact that it's sculpted to look like the forest. But remember, Dr. Robotnik was stomping through the forest in his giant robot. Kind of compensates for the lack of detailing on the robot itself. Like you can see he has one foot lifted up like he's running, but like once you get behind there, it's all just a featureless tube. Not to mention hollow sculpting in the backs of the arms. This is the only figure that makes void spaces for the it's the only one that feels hollow because of it. None of the other figures feel hollow. Although despite the hollow spaces, it does have a significantly more elaborate paint job than the other figures. There's no stickers on this figure, so I guess they knew that they had to make sure to compensate. So again, there's only two colors, green and red, but it is applied in a lot more places. So you have his hands, shoulder pads, all the details on his face and chest. So the Death Egg robot, it's like at this budget and price point, this is fairly decent. Yeah. I know a lot of people are going to be upset that I didn't save this one for last, but I'm doing this in the order that I got them, like I said. And Supersonic was the 5th toy that I acquired in this series. This is actually a really good sculpt of movie Supersonic. It genuinely looks good. And look, if you look at his back, you see that just like movie Sonic, he has 3 spines on his back. And that's kind of cool. Even though like the spine count in his head is off, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There should be a 7th spine in there, but I'm willing to accept that it's hidden underneath the spine underneath it. But still, that just makes him look more like proper Sonic. And you can see, I'm hoping that it's not getting oversaturated by my ring light. Let me see if I can turn down the intensity. Is that helping? Can you? Yeah, like the fur texture is still sculpted in there. The insides of the ears still aren't painted, but that's a little bit less noticeable against the yellow of Supersonic. And his eyes are properly painted red. That's good. From what I understand, Jakks Pacific has a Supersonic figure coming out in the Death Egg robot playset, and they accidentally painted his eyes blue, which would kind of be accurate to their original depiction in the Sonic 2 video game, but, you know, at this point in canon, and in the movie itself, Sonic has red eyes when he goes super. So yeah. Now, there was a little bit of controversy around this one, as the existence of this figure is a spoiler. It's not in the trailers that Supersonic is in the movie, and it was actually a pretty well kept secret. When it actually happens in the movie, everybody gets super hyped about it. Like, there was cheering in my theater. I was practically bouncing around like a little kid. So what they did is, if you look in that display case at McDonald's, you see 7 of the figures. But then there's a circle with a silhouette of regular Sonic in it. It's not even a silhouette of Supersonic because that's too distinct. And it says, surprise toy. I do remember this is toy number 8. It was the last one that was supposed to be handed out in the Happy Meals. So, ostensibly, this will be the figure that came out at the end of the month, after hopefully enough time had passed that everybody could see it. So, McDonald's did their part to try and keep this a secret as long as they could. And I'm presenting it now because the movie has been out for 2 weeks. Everybody should have had a chance to see it, and I'm pretty sure there's no way that they've been keeping the existence of movie Supersonic secret. So if you're really hiding from the spoilers that much, then you're probably not even watching this video, so it should be okay. But yeah, like, we got a Supersonic figure in the McDonald's toy line, and that's kind of cool. I like how his pullback racer also looks like swirling cloud effects. You know, just something to differentiate it from the others. Although, speaking of swirling cloud effects, here is, I'm going to call it Flying Tails. This is my preferred Tails figure. I definitely like this one better than I like Snowboard Tails. Not that Snowboard Tails is bad, it's just that this feels like a better representation of the character. Now, even though his tails are basically just a cone because of the blur effect of him spinning them around, they still painted the white tips in there, so that's pretty cool. They didn't have to do that, but they did, and it does improve the toy's look because of it. Now again, they didn't do the insides of his ears, and also I'll point out that these guys don't have pupils, but it's fine, because they still look pretty darn good. And like this... Like I said, this is a really good iconic pose for Tails. Like, I believe, like, if you remember from Sonic Adventure, like, Tails flying into the camera looked just like this. So, yeah, it's an iconic pose that we're all familiar with Tails doing, and it's a pretty well sculpted little figure. So, yeah. Of course, like, the swirly cloud thing does kind of impede on Sonic's thing, but hey, Tails can fly. And good old peel-out Sonic. Sculpt-wise, this is definitely my preferred Sonic. Like, his feet are sculpted in that iconic figure 8 swirl, which is how we're used to seeing his legs in video games like Super Smash Bros. Or, like I said, the iconic peel-out move, which was originally introduced in Sonic CD. The red is even done out of a semi-translucent plastic, so it has like an intangible effect, like you're seeing the after image of his feet moving rather than it being a solid red mass. It's really good. Plus he still has that snide little smirk on his face, which is just so perfect for this particular Sonic. And this figure drove me kind of insane because I almost missed out on it. Okay, earlier in the month when I was starting the collection, this could have been the second one that I got. At the time, like, I was in the McDonald's, I was choosing which toy I would get. The McDonald's employees showed me 2 of them. One of them was Tails on a snowboard, and the other one was this one. At the time, I justified, well, I already have a Sonic, so I should grab the Tails now, because, like, if anything, I can say I have the characters. It would be better to miss out on a variant than to miss out on a character. Well, little did I know that when I went back to the restaurant the next day, they had run out of this figure. And I was running to every McDonald's in the frickin' city that I could get to. I'm pretty sure I visited a dozen different McDonald's before finally finding one that still had this one in stock. Yesterday, literally yesterday. It's a search that took over 2 weeks to do. To the very nice and dedicated a McDonald's employee at the Times Square McDonald's that's on the same block as the Midtown Comics. You are my hero. You are the greatest person because, like, there are very few McDonald's employees that would actually go into the back and get out the box of spare figures that weren't given away in time to find this figure for me. Because yes, she did that, and she is awesome for it. Now this may be my favorite sculpt of Sonic from this line, but it's kind of weird. It's the only one that has only one wheel. All the others have 3 wheels. So because of that, the pullback gimmick doesn't quite work as well. Like, and he doesn't coast like the others do. Once his wind runs out, he stops quite abruptly. I mean, he moves fast while he's doing it, but then it's over. Like, once he runs that distance, he stops dead. I guess that is kind of what happens if you do the peel out move in Sonic CD, but you don't hold down the run button after you peel out. But it's just kind of weird that this is the only toy that works like this. And it's also the only toy that basically has a reverse gear. I mean, you can pull the toy forward instead of backwards, and it actually goes back a little bit. Not far, but, you know. Well, yeah. Anyway, my favorite sculpt, but probably the least functional of the toys because he only has one wheel. And last but not least, Snowboard Knuckles. Now, Knuckles was on the snowboard in the movie, although, like, it's weird that it's just a regular snowboard instead of, like, the torn-apart egg drone that he was supposed to be on. I find it weird that they made, like, Snowboard Knuckles, but they didn't make a Snowboard Sonic. Or, like, is that what one of the two that America didn't get is? I'm pretty sure that one of the two is Snowboard Sonic, and then, like, the other one is a Running Tails. Like, I only saw, like, a preview image, and it didn't have, like, a full-size option, so I'm just guessing based on what I saw. And, this sculpt of this Knuckles is kind of weird. I mean, granted, he does look like he's on the snowboard much more than Tails does, because he's actually facing forwards for the most part. But his crouch stance, like he's, I know it's supposed to be like he's getting ready to punch, but I can't help but think of that, that infamous Simpsons meme that had, you know, one of the Dancing Marge tween frames that everybody likes to put on the internet because it's a kind of a funny image. Yeah, he's kind of like that. Let me call up that picture just so you know. Yeah, that one. That's funny. Like it's the Marge Simpson memeing Knuckles. And again, Knuckles is the one that comes out best here since he doesn't have ears, at least not visible ears. He technically isn't lacking any paint dealing. Although the tips of his shoes are white because of the way the stickers apply, I guess they didn't want to budget out having to cut the sticker in such a way to match the curve of his shoe. But still, looks pretty good. Great Knuckles figure. And, yep, it's a pullback. So, yeah, that is the, all 8 of the figures that I got in the promotion. And, I believe my overall favorite is probably Sonic, with Super Sonic probably being a close second. Then my preferred Tails sculpt is the one where he's flying, and my preferred Knuckles sculpt is the one where he's running like this. So I guess these would be my top picks of the set, but all 8 of them are actually surprisingly good. They did go through quite a bit of effort to make sure the sculpt on these things was at least decent, and with the sticker decals overcoming the lack of paint, they actually do a great job of looking quite good and accurate to the movie. So, as of right now, the promotion is still going on at McDonald's. It should be going on straight through the end of April, assuming that the restaurants don't run out of these things because, you know, Sonic is super popular. So, you know, happy hunting. Good luck collecting the full set, or at least getting your favorite. This is Wake Angel 2001 signing off.